thought I'd do a brief tutorial on Sci-Fi UI sounds. And this is not going to be a comprehensive tutorial, but it's hopefully give you guys, if you're newer, an idea of how you can make quite a few UI sounds with minimal kit. But it also got me thinking that there's a few different approaches I have personally to make UI sounds, and one is basically using some kind of soft synth, as you'll see, to generate sound, and then those sounds are kind of edited to get your UI sounds. The second approach is an effects based approach where you have some sound source and you run it through loads of effects, and that will yield you with your finished UI sounds, or should I say your finished sound source. Finally, I also have my third approach would be to use field recordings or Foley recordings that I have in my library. Generally, I like to use kind of transient stuff for that. Anything metal I find works very well, anything resonant. So they're my kind of three approaches, but like for this tutorial, we'll just maybe look at the synth-based approach. Before we start, the key, I think, once you have your sound source, that's all well and good, but it's also the way you edit them and perhaps layer them together. So that in itself is a very important step beyond the just generating the sound itself. But if we take, let's say, this is Serum 2. It's probably my favorite soft synth. I use it a lot for like music as well, but it's really easy to use actually, I think, and it's very powerful. You don't have to use Serum 1 or 2. Any kind of wavetable synth or maybe an FM synth will work very well, or even just an analog, because you can start high pitching but your sounds. But I do like these kind of wavetables because they kind of give you these kind of slightly gnarly, buzzy sounds, and they're a great starting point. So I have two oscillators, and I've just gone for some of the spectral waves, and Serum has loads of them here. And I did the same for oscillator B. This is pitched up one octave. So yeah, again, spectral tables or S2 tables, digital, and so we have these two oscillators doing their thing. The third one is a digital oscillator as well, but the level is down, and these oscillators are controlled with frequency modulation from the oscillator C here. So if we look here, you can see the FM from C, and same here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I also have them doubled for unison for a little bit more, just to give a little bit extra sound. Little bit of noise, just that'll give us an extra texture, a little bit of high end in there. It's down pretty low because you got to be careful, because that type of noise can be very abrasive and it can overtake the sound. Have it set to mono just for ease of use, especially if we're making some kind of stepped type of noises, as you often hear with these kind of Sci-Fi UI menus. One LFO basically, and that is just a sample and hold to give a bit of randomness, and that is set to the filter. Now I have a bandpass filter here, but I would encourage you to just explore different filters, crank up the resonance, have a bit of drive. On the effects section, okay, I have a little bit of overdrive, a bit of hyperdimension, which just kind of gives the sound a little bit of space, a bit of a compressor, and a tiny bit of reverb. I don't want much there at all, because you can always drown stuff in reverb later on. So, but if you, it's easier to get rid of it, or it's easier to not have it there in the first place to try and get rid of it. So that's my basic setup. So nothing crazy in there at all. And we will go to our good friend rolling sampler, and what we can do then is simply start recording some sounds. So I'm just going to I'll give it like a 2-minute duration for now, and then randomly, now I don't have my MIDI keyboard set up unfortunately, so I'm just going to hit this microscopic keyboard here and we'll see what happens. And I'm kind of doubling sounds, like by going you know, and we can edit them as well. And we can move through these oscillators just for the laugh and see what else comes up. Let's change them all. See if we get it. Let's change the filter. For we'll try. Well, we'll just try this. And yeah, I mean, I think we have enough material there. So from the sampler, we'll just grab it and create a new set of sounds. And this is rolling sampler. I've done a video on that already. I highly recommend it. Just, I mean, you don't need it, of course. You can just record your audio. There's stuff I had earlier on. But let's have just a quick look at what we have. Yeah, I mean, immediately they work well, and we can just literally, so we have 3 now I don't like the end of that LFO there, kind of whap sound, so we're going to cut that. Yeah, I'll get rid of it right down. That's fine. That's a little bit longer. I'm going to duplicate that because I quite like that, and I'm just going to take a little nip out of it there, and yep, and I'm going to do that again, and I'm just going to slip. Go to slip mode. I didn't think there'd be much difference, which is fine. And we could simply just, let's transpose it up 6 semitones. See what happens. Do it again. Slip, just for slip would obviously work better for you know, if you had slightly different sounds, etc. So now we have so now you have your sounds. So let's see what we have so far. Yep, sounds pretty good. That's kind of interesting, that ow's kind of ow sound. This that's like a kind of a negative now. So that's quite like that. I'm going to split it though, so we have so I'll take that as, so we have those as well. Interesting. Not much high end on, or sorry, low end on that, but it does sound it does sound very much like a piece of computer. Just messing around with the transpose. Now let's leave it there. We'll take a bit off it, and yeah, and you know, you can literally just take bits of wherever you want and just transpose them, like this. So okay, that's probably too high for. And you could, of course, start layering stuff. So to get, you know, stacked sounds, maybe we'll try these two. Yeah, there's a nice little bleep. We could try this. Yeah, that's a nice little bleep. Let's try this and here. Yep, another good wee bleep, a couple of bleeps there. So again, it's like a lot of it is down to editing and just, you know, trying to place the sounds as you need them. Yep, that works well. There's a good negative sound. So we have, yeah, once you start stacking, oops, let's try these two. No, sorry, they're too similar. Doesn't really go. Okay. Yeah, anything that has that kind of whoop sound where you can hear the LFO, I don't really want. So, yeah, no. I probably could do a whole insert silence. I should do that because that would separate these automatically, but I'm just kind of in editing mode, so we'll just leave it as is. See what we've got. Okay, and let's maybe take these two and we'll transpose them. Let's see. Randomly stack some stuff. Let's try. Yeah, it's okay for a kind of a negative sound, or you know, a locked door or some such. No, doesn't work for me. It's a bit better. Yeah, these are working well. The digital oscillators give it some nice artifacts that you can work with. And you can just stack them up and see. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I'm quite. Let's see that. Sorry, I'm talking away to myself, but yeah. So let's assume that we're quite happy with what we've done. I mean, you could go on and on and on and get loads, and then you could try different sound sources, so you get, you know, very different sounding bloops and bleeps. These are kind of like, remind me of that kind of slightly like old school low res stuff, but I kind of like that. So so what I'm doing now is I'm going to get rid of that, keep that as a source. So I'm now relatively happy with these little UI sounds for now, and I have, as I said, I've got loads more that I could use, so I'm just really just doing it quick and dirty for you guys, so you can hopefully give you some ideas of what you could do yourselves. I mean, So let's say we go back to our rolling sampler now, and you could just bounce it however you want. So we so there we have our new sounds all layered, and that would be that. Oops, let's bring them over here, and now they're effects wise. I hadn't turned them on, but for processing these, I would have let's see, probably some kind of saturator and an EQ. So I will turn the effects on here. So you know, it doesn't really matter what saturator you use. So this will, let's see if we can on and off. You know, gives it a little extra harmonics, a little bit of loudness or whatever. And then I would use a EQ of some kind, because I now want, I don't want them too harsh at the top, so I'm rolling a bit off around 12k ish. I mean, you can go up higher if you want, but, or even lower. Well, we'll hang around there, but I'm taking quite a bit out of the low end because you don't really need it for light interface sounds. We'll just keep them, we'll keep it around here. And then of course I could go into my rolling sampler again, and if I wanted to. So that is a kind of a brief way for you guys to, you know, if you need to do some sci-fi interface sounds, have a go at that. Again, it's all in the editing and layering really once you get the sound source done. And you can use anything. You don't have to have Serum, as I was saying, or Pro Q or rolling sampler. I mean, just I just find them really good for workflow. So yeah, have a go. Or if you guys have any other ways of generating UI sounds, UI sounds, let me know, because always good to share some knowledge. You probably noticed I'm doing quite a few more tutorials now, so it'd be great if you could help me grow the channel a wee bit. So if you thought this was a useful video, you could maybe share it, or you know, drop someone a link. That would be great. Hit subscribe. It would really help me out. Okay, well listen, thanks guys, and yeah, if you have any comments or questions, drop me a line. I'll see you in the next one, which will probably be maybe an effects-based one for creating UI or something. All right, take care.